Hello, everyone. It is Scotty T, and it is your comedy minute. And I have an unbelievable actor, writer, producer, podcaster. But I think he does plumbing work. I don't know what. Joel Marshall is here. Joel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, it's great to be on your comedy minute. I really appreciate you
Ah,
having me
buddy,
on.
stop, stop, stop. It's all about you. This is all about you. I know we're going to get to you're always on the other end, but today you get to be interviewed. You're always interviewing people.
Okay. All right. If
Today
we
we
have
want to
to.
start. Let's start. You're in California, right?
Yes.
Born and raised.
No, born and raised in Seattle, Washington. Well, born in Syracuse, New York. Moved to Seattle
Okay.
when I was 3. Raised in Edmonds, Washington, which is a little north of Seattle.
Okay. And going back to the beginning, because you've done so much, did the comedy what started first and what was the catalyst? Was it acting, comedy, and what was the catalyst? What?
I would have to say acting was the thing when I was like
Okay.
3 years old. My friend asked me, another 3 year old asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be an actor." And that
Really?
was kind of a crazy thing, being from Edmonds, Washington, because there weren't really any actors from there or even from Seattle. I don't know if there were any at the time. We were kind of up in the remote part of the Northwest where
Right.
nobody seemed to really be paying attention or turning cameras on that.
I didn't get past 3 years old. You knew at 3 years old what you wanted to do.
Yeah, 3 years old.
That's pretty cool.
I can't say that I was equipped to do it, but all my friends in my neighborhood were big sports fans.
Yeah.
And they knew all the players, they knew everything about sports, and I didn't really know as much as they did. I knew about movies. I could tell you, who was
Right.
the extra from the left and, any movie that we were seeing. And I was really into like soundtracks and movie trivia and things like that. But they were more into sports. So I kind of felt like I was a strange person.
Outcast or something, right?
Well, they were my friends, but I felt like I was a little bit, yeah, a little bit on the outside, which I often feel that way. It might be a
Yeah.
neurosis
Me
of mine.
too. Me too. All right, here we go. You
Yeah.
got a podcast. It's an unbelievable podcast.
Oh,
Joel
thanks.
Marshall's Lunch Therapy.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want you to go back to the original, the first podcast you used to do.
Yes.
Leonard
Fat free
Nimoy, and
film.
you've had some amazing guests. Tell people about that before we get to Lunch Therapy.
I started that out in I think 2004, maybe 2005.
Right.
A friend of mine, Jesse Rhines, Dr. Jesse Rhines, he said to me, "Hey, I want to do a vlog. Do you want to help me do that?" And I'm kind of computer savvy,
Yeah.
so I was like, "I don't know what that is, but let's figure it out." And at
Figure
the
it out.
time, you had to kind of hand code the RSS feed, and it wasn't super easy. But we started going around interviewing people about two things: independent film and raw food, because he was interested in this raw food diet that was going on. So we started interviewing people. We would just put a camera down, put the lens cap on, and just record the podcast. And at the time, there really weren't that many. I think
Yeah. Back
maybe,
before podcasts were even a thing.
yeah, we'd have to explain it to people all the time, and you could only really listen to it on your computer or your iPod. But
Okay.
that also gave us a lot of opportunity
Right.
because we could do these interviews. They could be long form. And a lot of times people didn't even know what we were doing. Like Leonard Nimoy. Eventually, what happened is Jesse went off because he was interested in raw food. And I was like, I don't know how this really goes together. So I continued down the indie film
Yeah.
route. And I was really trying to learn how to be an independent filmmaker because I
Yeah.
knew as an actor, you got to empower yourself. So my wife joined me and Camila Lopez, who's an
Yeah.
accomplished
We're gonna
actor.
get to that. Equal equal is equal. Yeah, I got it. We're
Equal
gonna
means
get
equal,
to
yeah. So
it.
anyway, we started doing fat-free film. We called it fat-free film. At first it was called Film Shots. And
Okay.
then it was fat-free film. And because we wanted to cut the fat out of the independent films. And we were amazed at the people we got, you know.
Yeah.
We got Peter Bogdanovich and Leonard Nimoy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Patricia Arquette and Thomas Jane and just endless.
Kind of like me and this little dog and pony act.
Yeah, it's amazing who you can talk to. And I
Me,
remember,
hey, George Wallace, Kathy
yes,
Ladman.
George Wallace.
I mean,
Wow.
Kathy Ladman. I pinch myself every day.
Yeah, it's
Hey, but
great.
none more important than you, brother. Every one of these
Oh,
is important
thank
to
you.
me.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
pray
that.
before each one. I pray that each one goes well. I don't know. I never know.
Did you get nervous before the show?
For people that don't know, we've never met, right?
Yeah, we've never met.
I'm
Ginny
nervous.
Sykes.
Hell, I'm nervous now. I'm breathing. I'm flying on fumes. I'm hoping to get through this.
That's great.
Um,
Yeah. You know, Mark Maron says that too, that
no, no, well, because
he gets nervous
well,
before the
let
interviews.
me ask you this, since you like to ask questions, and that's not allowed.
Okay.
Um, do you get nervous, and are there times where guests come on and you could just shoot yourself?
Oh, I get so nervous. That's why at the beginning of my show, we always take 3 deep breaths because
Okay,
mainly because I got to calm myself down.
okay.
But also it's good for the guest. I see the guest in the green room taking three
I
deep
forgot
breaths
to
a lot
take.
of
Well,
times.
want to take a couple breaths now?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't need it. Take a break from the crap.
Take a break from the crap. That's our
I love
slogan.
that.
Thanks.
That's your tagline, right?
Yeah, there's so much crap going on in the world.
Are
It's
are you kidding me?
really needed. We started this thing during COVID, right when COVID hit.
Right.
And that was when we really needed to take a break from the crap.
Yeah.
Like there was so much crap going on.
Well,
And
we
yeah.
kind of jumped there, and I
Oh
apologize.
yeah.
We went from
It's
the
okay.
first podcast to the new one
Yeah.
because the new one has such production value.
Oh, thank you.
Honest to God, you do an amazing podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that.
What is it? Every Tuesday and Friday at noon Pacific
Yep.
time.
Yep. Tuesday we do like a variety show with a contest. And I
All
have
right. Yeah, you gave away a potato, a macrame tomato.
yeah, we gave away positive potato to
Oh,
Howard Aronin won it.
crochet potato.
Yeah. And so we Mama J. Patterson is my co-host. She's was
Yeah.
on the show Netflix The Trust. She's in that reality
Yeah.
program. But she's always been a friend of mine since I started live streaming. We were in like a Zoom class together.
Okay.
And and she's been my co-host on Tuesdays. And so we have a whole lot of fun. There's a really great
Yeah.
chat room and you can compete and you can
For a
win a
prize.
positive
Yeah, yeah,
potato
yeah.
or $15 or
I
sometimes
love it. I just love
$45.
what you're
Yeah, it's
doing.
super fun.
I love what you're doing. I mean, and um,
And then Fridays we do interviews.
yeah,
Interview
in
Friday.
700, you just went over 700 shows, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to Podcasters Anonymous, I think. I've got a problem.
No, no, you know what? The reason I like you so much is because take a break from the crap. I hate when I talk, but I'll do this much. I got fired from my job for telling jokes.
Oh,
And I
no
started
way.
and I started your comedy minute.
Yeah,
And the idea was I just want to bring joy to people's lives.
yeah,
Take a
yeah.
break from the crap.
Take a break from the
You
crap.
and I are joined at the hip, brother. We're
That's
both
right.
trying to do the same thing.
I know it's good. It's
I
good. I
love it.
love it.
Well, we're gonna
And
move
it's
on
well
'cause
needed too. It's well needed, I
it's
think.
everybody needs it. If you Robin Williams said laughter is the enema of the soul.
Mm,
And that's true.
it is true.
But well, let's move on. Let's try and lighten it up a little bit because
Okay.
I went over your YouTube channel today
Yeah.
and your lunch therapy thing. Before we do that, let's do this.
Mm,
You also just did a live show. I don't know. You start producing
yeah.
lunch therapy live. Is that right?
It's called Laugh Therapy, and
Oh,
it
Laugh
happens at
Therapy
night.
Live.
So what happened was we were doing Laugh Therapy before COVID. So we had a show that was once a month, and it was I would get together some of my favorite comedians, and we'd do it at this place called Trencher, which was a restaurant owned by Harlan Gleason. And Cynthia Levin and Harlan Gleason and I were like, let's put on a show. So we were doing this, and then COVID hit. We had to cancel one.
Right.
And we were like, this could be 2 weeks. We don't know what. And so that's when I started live streaming to YouTube. And so that never was resurrected. And we're resurrecting it now, 700 episodes later.
Well, but I'm talking about a live show in California with Ginny Sykes and other
That's
comedians.
the one. So that's called Lunch Therapy. I mean, sorry, Laugh Therapy. That's called Laugh
Come on,
Therapy.
bud. I'm having a hard time keeping together. You got to keep
I
it
got my
together.
shirt on too, so I can look down.
All right.
So Laugh Therapy is the evening live show, and we did it in a theater called the Stray Theater just last Saturday. Ginny
Right.
Sykes was in it. We had Lena Green. We had, I don't know if you've seen Zach Binder and Tickle Muff, which is like
Okay.
he has like a Muppet puppet. And we had Mike Knox, and we had
I
Howard.
know
Rowan.
Mike. I've had Mike on the show. Are you going
Oh,
to
you have?
Yeah. Are you going to continue to do these shows live like
Yes, the
once a
plan
month?
is the next one's going to be in January because
Right.
December is
Yeah. Right.
difficult.
Got you.
But we're going to start in January, and we're going to do it once a month, and we're going to have
Cool.
a different lineup every time. But we're
Well,
just doing
and you
6
have
comedians.
that come on your show, and you got people you
Yeah.
can pick and choose.
Yeah, there's so many people
Wonderful,
that I want to
wonderful.
put in the show. Yeah, we're
Okay.
already building the lineup for next year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was on your YouTube channel, and I have to bring this up just because I thought it was great. I saw you doing stand up at a car wash, a Wiener Schnitzel,
Oh yeah.
and the LAX airport.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to tell you, I love that.
Thanks. I work a job at night, 4 days a week. So it's hard for me to get out to the clubs. So, I only have like Friday night, Saturday night, and then on Tuesday night, I have this acting class. So I really don't have that many nights. So I got to do it in the day. So I go around to these open mics in LA, but, I want to get a good audience. So I go to these public places
There
and I
was nobody at the Wiener
work
Schnitzel.
on my material.
People were walking down the road and you were hollering at
I know, I know. But it's a challenge, I'm up for the challenge. And
challenge. There wasn't anybody
I
there.
know, I did it at the car wash. I think the first one I did was at this car wash on La
Car wash,
Brea.
you're hollering at a guy. Hey, do you?
Do you
He
work
runs
out?
away,
I was like, do you
runs
work
away
out?
from you.
I know. I love the feel of that somehow.
I do too.
I did it in the Trader Joe's parking lot, and people are walking by. Even when there are a lot of people, they're just ignoring me,
No,
like it's not happening.
no, I'll tell you the story off. We'll get together off camera, and I'll tell you a couple of
Yeah.
stories. I used to work in the music business,
Oh, wow.
just trying to give away free cassette singles. People are like, nah, 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 I don't want anything.
They get scared.
Get away from me. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, because we got to move on to acting and TV and
Yeah.
everything. Do
Yeah.
you enjoy doing the podcast more or stand up more?
Wow, that's a tough one. Somebody asked me that about acting the other day, and I was like,
Well, and that's a
I
follow-up
can't.
question
Yeah.
because we got to get to the acting, dude, because you've done, and I got some stuff written down as far as your TV work, a
Yeah.
couple shows I wrote down, and I'm real interested in.
I love doing it all. I must say, I can't
Okay.
pick and choose at this point, because I'm exploring these different avenues of performance and also providing space for other people to perform. And
Right.
I get a real joy out of performing and also providing that space. And both of
Okay.
those things do that. Like producing a live stand-up show
Sure.
does that, doing a podcast does that. Acting is its own thing. It's its own
Right.
mystical thing that I have always, enjoyed since I was 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my core, is I'm an actor,
Okay.
but I love doing comedy.
Okay. Well, and that's like the reels. I saw a reel which I loved again, Dutch Oven In.
Jumping in, yeah. I, I
I
made that
love
one
Dutch.
and I was like, I think I might be a little nuts, but I made that
No.
one, the Dutch oven in, and what it was my wife and I were just talking about this idea and just cracking up. And then when I made it, it was one of those things where while I was editing it, I was laughing. I couldn't
Yeah.
stop laughing. I just kept laughing, and I was like, I love this. I'm not sure how it plays, but it seems like, people seem to be interested in it.
Well, tell for people. I just Dutch oven myself the other night. My neighbor gave me a new blanket.
Yeah.
I told her I was going to buy a new blanket. She gave me this blanket, and I Dutch oven myself. And I asked her. I said, "I Dutch oven." She goes, "Oh, isn't that something you cook with?" I said, "No, no, no, no. It's not. No, what happened was not. There was no cooking
The
other than
Dutch
my
Oven Inn
nostrils."
is a place where you can go and feel free to let yourself go and just fart all you want. And they serve beans and they serve things that will help your flatulence. It's a place where you don't have to hold back.
Funny
It's a
stuff.
beautiful, beautiful place. Take a
Well, for
break from
me,
the
for me, a Dutch oven is when you're laying in bed.
yeah, and you put the covers over.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a scene in the commercial for the Dutch Oven Inn where they're in
Okay.
bed, like enjoying it.
Let me ask
Um,
you. Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I need to put that on the show on Tuesday. I forgot about that. Such a
Okay.
long
Yeah.
time.
Dutch oven in. Great stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
Comedians that inspired you when you were young, or actors, whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
and
I'm a
actors or
huge,
comedians that you like today.
okay. My huge inspiration is Steve Martin.
Yeah.
That was my Barney, how kids watch something over and over and over again. Whenever we got in the car, I would put that tape in the car and we would listen to it over and over and over. I drove my parents crazy with the Steve Martin stuff.
Right.
I knew all the routines. That was my entry point. I also really like Cheech and Chong.
Right.
So there were some, great comedians, but I was like obsessed with Steve Martin, I must say. I don't ever want to meet him because I think it's going to be a letdown. But at the time, that was my big inspiration. And I also watched things like Second City
Right.
TV. We used to get it from Canada because we were in
Yeah,
Seattle. We used
yeah,
to get a Canadian station and we used to get Second TV, City TV. And we were just like, what the hell is this? This is
yeah.
incredible. And of course, Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
We would like
What
sneak.
about, are there comedians now, because you're in California there, and this is a chance for you to tell anybody, locally there that you really like, or give. No,
Ginny
I'm being
Sykes.
sincere.
Well,
Yeah, of
Ginny
course,
Sykes,
Jenny.
one of my
Well, and
favorites, of
if you
course.
want to do it, you want to move ahead. You keep thinking you're in charge, and you're not in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in
Yeah.
charge of the girls.
You were in charge of the girls. There are
Jenny
so many
Sykes. Jenny
wonderful.
Sykes
Yeah.
is a good
Tell
friend
us.
of mine. She's been on the show a couple times. We've shared a lot of stories, and she said you were the one that inspired her, or more or less directed her to do a comedy.
Yeah. Well, I just encouraged her because I saw talent,
She's
and
amazing.
she's amazing. We met, of course, doing Equal Means Equal. I don't know if you know this,
That's I want to talk about that because
but
that's another thing that I just love.
Ginny is a really smart person, but also just has a great sense of humor. And I went and saw her. She did a storytelling class at Second City here in Los Angeles, and she told a story, and then she took a stand up class and did a stand up, and I was like, you got to keep doing this, and I encouraged her, and then I got her with Cynthia Levin, who's a wonderful
Okay.
comic and coach, and we did a showcase together, and she took off with it.
Yeah.
So that's great to see. And she
She
was
has a
in the
great
show
work ethic. She's a
Saturday.
great work ethic, and she's kind to other comedians. She sent me a lot of people. She got you and I together.
Yes, and that's cool. Super.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
I
she,
love about the community, the comedy community, and people here in Los Angeles is people are very supportive of one another,
yeah,
which isn't always true. And
no,
and
no.
throughout the years, it hasn't always been true, but
What about
it's true
you
now.
mentioned Ginny, and again, let's move on to other comedians you want to shout out to because I'm sure there's more than Ginny.
Well, yeah, certainly. There's Lynn Sun. I don't know if you know Lynn Sun, but she is an amazing
Right.
comedian. She's a single mother. I interviewed her on my show, and she was in her car at the Starbucks or something like that with her son in the back.
Okay.
But she's super committed to comedy, and
Yeah.
she's done several specials.
Okay.
So she's one of my favorites as well.
Okay.
Um,
I also saw you play guitar, and
yeah,
again, you don't know this. I mean, I have a picture with Ringo Starr and
you do?
Cheap Trick. Oh yeah, go to my Facebook page. You'll see it. Ringo Starr, Cheap Trick, Kiss, Tool. I mean, you name an artist, I've been with them. But I watched you do Jimi Hendrix. You played pretty good.
Oh, thanks. Well, that's one of those things that kind of comes and goes.
Well,
Uh,
I thought it was cool. I wanted to mention
I
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you play guitar. You play any other instruments? Anything else you do?
Well, I recently got this, which
Uh oh. Look out, kids.
look out.
He'll
It's
be
a
back.
hand pan. I don't know if you know what a hand pan is.
Go ahead, do it a little bit. Let's see if we can hear it. It
I
doesn't.
can't
Yeah,
play it.
yeah, you can't
You
hear it.
can't hear it? Oh, yeah, because of the thing.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's the live performance thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Uh, but anyway, we won't do that.
He can't play his handpan.
Is it?
A little bit. You hear it a little
Yeah, he
bit.
can't play. Anyway, this is what it
That's
looks
pretty
like.
cool.
Yeah, so these are.
Never seen one of those before in my life.
I got into that because we were trying to, because we do lunch therapy. We got to have some therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of my
You-
viewers was like, this viewer, his name's Matt Wright. He was in the band Gas Huffer, and
Okay.
he's a good friend of mine. But anyway, he said you got to check out this handpan thing, this hong drum. And so I was like, okay. And we played it on the show, and it's just super relaxing. And
I've
really,
actually heard it. Yes, you're right. Now,
it's great for meditation. It's almost like sound bowls and those kind of things. So I
yeah.
got really into it. I play that all the time.
I
There's
love
some
it. I love
wonderful
it.
ones out there.
You talked about the movie, and I want to bring it up because again, there's a really special spot in my heart. Equal means equal. You and
Yes.
your wife, I guess it is, put that together.
Yeah. So my wife and I we made a movie about Jeanette Rankin, who was the first woman in Congress. Before women had the right to vote, she got into Congress, and she was from Montana. And we were screening it at the Smithsonian. And this docent came up to us and said, "I'm Alice Paul, and I've come back to haunt you because you never got their Equal Rights Amendment ratified." And we were like, "What are you talking about? Equal Rights Amendment?" That was like back in the 70s, 80s. And we looked into it. My wife it just lit a fire in her. She's like, "I can't believe that women don't have equal rights in the United States, equal opportunity." And so she was like, "Let's get this done." They needed 3 more states to ratify.
Yeah, I was just going to say 3 states needed to be ratified before it. Yeah.
And everybody was like, "You can't do that. That can't be done." We had a lot of pushback. And a lot of women were saying, "I'm fine. I'm totally fine." And then they'd tell some horrible story about how they were marginalized or abused. And they'd be like, "But I'm fine." Because women are tough. They are. They're really tough. But they deserve to have equal opportunity and equal rights and equal representation and equal, medical benefits and things. So anyway.
No, I watched the PBS special, and it may have been you and your wife's movie.
Yeah. So then,
was it on Independent Lens?
Well, there's another one out there right now about the fight for the
I was
ERA.
like, this is amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah. So ours is called Equal Means Equal. What happened was, we were like, we got to use our skills to make a movie about this. And so Kamala really took it on. And that's when Ginny came on board, because she and Kamala had been writing something.
Okay.
And Ginny came on board, and they wrote this documentary through and also scheduled all these interviews. And Kamala is the Michael Moore of that, essentially, of that movie. And we were like, we want to make a Michael Moore type movie. And I've never had anybody argue with me about this after watching the film, about whether women should have equal opportunity. And also, the film was a catalyst for getting those last 3 states, and we got them.
Yeah.
And it was never put in the Constitution, but it's been ratified.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where it goes from there. But that's one of those things that I think is a part of our legacy, I guess.
Do a podcast and do interviews, and I've been doing it several years now. I don't have to have 700 shows. I don't know how many shows I have, but
probably.
I just started interviewing people a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how much I was touched by that, and I just want you to know. And I've been vocal about this. I would love to have nothing but women on my show.
Yeah.
Just because I think, especially in comedy, women they go and there's 6 guys in the show and there's 1 woman on the show. Or I could go on a rant about women have such a harder thing to go with comedy.
It's so true. I just had Marlena Marie on the show on Friday, and she's somebody that's been doing comedy for 16 years, and she hosts over at the Hollywood Comedy, and she's just a wonderful person. But, she says that. She says it's like they feel like they got their woman and now they've got enough women. And so it's harder for them to book shows. And also there's there's like a tendency for women to feel like they have to be like men.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the guys, especially at the kind of the up and comers, a lot of them are very, very vulgar. And it's not like in
I got you. No, I
the
agree
nature
with that.
to be that way,
Right.
And so, but they're like, I don't know. It feels, but I think in Los Angeles, there's a really good community of women doing comedy, and there's some great shows out there that are being produced by women that are turning the tide on some of this stuff.
Good.
So I'm all, obviously, and I try to promote that as much as possible.
I just interviewed Barbara Carlisle, been doing comedy for 48 years.
Wow.
And then Sylvia Traymore Morrison, again, 40 plus years. And you hear stories about, she told a story about Elaine Boozler.
Oh, yeah.
Getting $5,
And Judy Carter is another one who's fantastic.
Yeah. I want to, we don't have a lot of time left, but I just want to touch on, I wrote down, besides you've done some films and stuff, which you can talk about those.
Yeah.
And then I want to touch on the TV real quick.
Okay. I have to say that as an actor, I've been acting all my life, and I do a lot of acting all the time. And I'm in an acting
You're
class.
acting right now.
I'm in an acting class with Ivana
job.
Chubbuck right now, who's like a master teacher in Los Angeles, and I put up scenes every week and stuff. But I can't say that my acting career has been that fruitful.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, whether I'm just an unusual person or what's going on. But I love acting. It's like my favorite thing to do. I think it's like time traveling. I think it's like putting your feet in other people's shoes. I think it's like, it's like changing your point of view.
Yeah.
And it's also constantly challenging because you play all different kinds of people. Maybe like next week I might have to play somebody who plays a guitar or something, and then I have to like get into a concentrated, study of that. So I love it. And I've done a lot of Shakespeare.
Your acting reel, and you're really good. You're really good.
Oh, thanks.
Keep it up.
Done a lot. I'm a Shakespeare trained actor, and
Yeah.
I also love to do comedy, obviously. I think just recently, in the last few years, I realized that the comedy that I do and the acting that I do go together. So what I used to do, I was a very serious actor when I started out, and I was like, really wanted to be like, John Malkovich or Robert De Niro or somebody like that. And I think my talents lie a little bit more in the comedy space. And so marrying those two together,
Right.
I've been working on that for the last couple of years, doing a lot of comedy.
Well, and we're going to mention again, because I want to make sure that Ginny Sykes, who the first time she was on, and she did her dark, morbid, when she told me that she collected dead animals and tried to bring them back to life. And I'm not joking. I don't know if did you know that?
Yes, of course.
Oh, no, I mean, and to this day, she's like, I can't believe you edited that the way you did, and showed me where the humor is, just because and she loves that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I'm glad I went back, because I forgot about that. I wanted to talk about your merchandise on your website. I saw all these shirts, and then I saw, wait, there's a different, like, tarot card kind of thing on each one. You
Yeah.
want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so you know how it is with promoting shows, comedy shows, especially
Right.
in Los Angeles, because there's so many going on.
Right.
You have to get creative and come up with ways to get people's attention. And I was last Tuesday night, I texted my wife and I was like, here's an idea. What if there's a tarot card for each of the comics in Laugh Therapy? And I put the titles of them. Like Ginny, I put the crime reporter.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so by the time I got home, my wife had generated all these tarot cards ready to go. We used that for publicity for the show, and we intend to do that continuing forward.
Cool.
So there would be like collector cards for everybody. And then
Yeah.
we gave out decks to all the comedians at the show.
That's
and then
wonderful.
cards. And then
Glad
they
I
can
brought it up. It's cool
give them to
stuff.
people. And so, yeah, there are shirts too.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
It's fun.
I said, and we're going to hit a bumpy patch here. I'm not, you may think I'm a nice guy and everything, but we hit a bumpy patch.
Uh-oh.
You mentioned the acting, but I also saw TV.
Yeah.
And you have a list of TV shows you did, but I wrote down 3.
Okay.
You want to
3.
guess the 3? 3, because
I'm surprised that there are 3.
No. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe you got to tell them. I know
no,
one
no.
of them is The New Adventures of Robin Hood. I don't know if you saw that one.
Nope.
Oh, you got to see that one.
No. You have to take a couple more guesses. I wrote down 3 out of all.
Brothers Inc.
Nope.
I don't know. You got to tell me.
I'll do it.
Is it wait, To Tell the Truth?
There's
You
one.
hear that one? Okay.
To
That's
Tell
a
the
whole
Truth,
story.
Medium, and my favorite, Days of Our Lives.
Oh, yes. I was on Days of Our Lives a couple of times. It's funny you do Days of Our Lives. You go on the set. It's very interesting being on a soap opera set. I don't know if it's changed since then, but they've got all these sets and they're just shooting fast, because they got to get an hour
Okay.
every day. And so the director isn't even standing on the ground. He's like in a booth somewhere talking through a speaker. And you go and you get like one shot to do your scene. And you do it. And I was super nervous because everybody there is like super relaxed because they've been there forever. And they're great. Some of these soap opera actors are the best and the nicest people you will ever meet. They make it so welcoming, but you just have that one shot and you do it. And then you have to go in. But then you tell people, or they see you on the show and they think you know everything about it because you're living in that world.
Well, all right, let's move on. Medium I like because I saw the show. But To Tell the Truth, that's the one I'm really curious about.
That's kind of a story. So
Is that planking? Is that have something to do with planking?
Yeah. So A lot of people don't know this, but I'm the father of modern planking. You know what planking is?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Where you lie face down. No, okay. So there's the yoga move planking where you're like on your wrists or on your hands and you hold, it's like a core
Yeah,
exercise.
I said I can't do that.
But there's another thing called planking, which is where you just lay face down on the ground with your hands on your side. And when I was in high school, this is maybe the origins of my comedy, is we wanted to call attention to people and confuse them, people that took themselves too seriously. Our whole goal was to confuse people who took themselves too seriously, and we would try and find something that made no sense, absolutely no sense. And that was one of the things that we would always get us the biggest laugh. We'd be like, "Oh, that makes no sense." And but we finally, my friend and I, Scott Amy, we found the ultimate thing that makes no sense. And we were walking by this baseball field, and there was a game going on. There was a whole crowd, and we went out into right field, and we laid face down with our hands on our sides in the grass, and nobody said anything. Nobody kicked us out of the game. We were there for several innings, and we're just laughing. We're just having it, just laughing. And then we got up like nothing happened, and then left. And we realized at that moment that we had found something that makes absolutely no sense.
So you just go someplace and lay down.
Yeah. So we would continue to do this. And Scott went off to Germany, and they actually had an article on him in Der Spiegel about it. The Germans really liked it. And we would do it all over the place. But then later on, it became this popular fad. We called it face dancing. They called it planking.
Okay.
And on Facebook, you could see it everywhere. And so people contacted me, and they were like, "Joel, you guys invented this." And so it got on Wikipedia that we were the inventors of it.
Okay.
And that's when, to tell the truth, called me up.
Okay.
And but they got the guy who did the yoga move that you're talking about. There's a guy named George Hood who did that for 10 hours, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds straight. And he was the tell the truth guy. And I was the imposter.
Yeah.
So at the end, when I go, well, I might not be the person who planked the longest, but I'm the father of modern planking, the fad. And it was really fun. It was George Lopez guessed me.
Okay.
Cedric the Entertainer was there. It was just a fun little episode of that.
Well, listen, you're going to come back, I hope, because we're running out of time, but we got to get to it.
I've been
Okay, we
talking
got one
too
more
fast.
thing to do.
I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
No, it's okay. Time to do it, okay? You know what it is, right?
The Comedy Minute?
Yes, sir. Joel Marshall, your Comedy Minute. Go ahead, my friend.
Here in Los Angeles, we have self-driving cars. I don't know if you've seen these self-driving cars, but they are everywhere. And they didn't even ask us. I thought they'd have like a town hall or something. They'd be like, "Who wants to have self-driving cars?" And we'd be like, "I don't want them. Why would I want a self-driving car?" And so they're everywhere, and they keep populating and populating. And I'm like, kids can't drive. How come no one can drive? So they're and the Uber drivers and the truck drivers and the delivery drivers and the bus drivers, they're all going to lose their jobs. There's going to be Waymo unemployment. So these Waymos are like everywhere. The other day, my wife, she got a ticket in the mail, and it was a picture of her car parked on the side of the road. And they said it's $275. And we're like, I did some research, and I found out a bus gave her that ticket. A bus gave her car a ticket. And I'm like, does my wife have to pay it? Maybe our car has to pay it. Since a bus gave the car, maybe the car has to pay it. I don't know. But they're after us. We thought RoboCop was going to look like Peter Weller, but apparently it looks like a white Jaguar driving around.
Those cars scare me.
I
don't know if you're done your bit, but
that's it.
Have you ever? Hey, thank you. Did you see the video where the car just keeps going around in a circle? The guy's stuck in the car.
They're brand new now, so they drive apparently 7 times better than we do. But what's going to happen in 10 years when these old Waymos are doing donuts in our lawn, driving through our living rooms?
If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. The guy's trying to get out. He's like telling the thing just keeps going in a circle around the parking lot.
I gotta see that. I was going down a street, and all of a sudden there was a Waymo just stopped in the middle of the street, and we're all just lined up behind this driverless car.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They're coming.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me your time.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. And promise me you'll come back with your next project. I know you're working on another
Absolutely.
movie, I think, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Working
Cool.
on another movie, working on a TV show.
Okay.
More to come.